And we're live. All right. Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. And I'm here with Zach Benson. And if you don't know Zach, I'm going to introduce him in a second. But this is the path to over 220 million Instagram followers. And, just to give you, Zach likes to point out some other interviews people should check out, Inspired Insider. Chris Ategeka, most people have probably never heard of him. He started 2 nonprofits and 2 for-profits. But when he was 7, he became an orphan in Uganda. His parents died of AIDS, and he had to raise his 5. He's one of 5. And so he had to raise his siblings because of that. And he went on to speak 9 languages, went on to get his PhD at Berkeley when he won a lottery in this village to go to the US to college. So it was pretty crazy. Also, check out the Pipe Drive. Founder Urmas, co-founder Urmas, had brain surgery, got married, moved from Estonia to the US all in the same year. Zach, at the time, they had 10,000 customers. Now they have over 100,000 customers on Pipe Drive. I actually use it. I love it. And many more on InspiredInsider.com. And this episode is brought to you by Rise 25. I co-founded it with my business partner, John Corcoran. What we do is we help B2B businesses give to and connect to their Dream 100 partnerships and clients and help them run their podcast. Like Zach will say about Instagram, the number one thing in my life is relationships. And I'm always looking on how to give to my best relationships. And I have found no better way to have the people I really admire and love, like people like Zach, on the podcast, share their thought leadership. And we help companies do that. So check out rise25.com. And you can check out a video of John and I breaking down how you get ROI. We also banter like an old married couple. And so, with no further ado, Zach Benson, this has been a long time coming. Zach's the founder of Assistagram. Assistagram is an Instagram marketing agency with a network of over 220 million Instagram followers to drive brand awareness, leads, and sales. And that's what I love about Zach's approach is it's not just for vanity. It's really to drive a business forward. And that awareness and the followers, and you could see if you're watching this, hey Tony G, Tony G says hello here. But if you're watching this, you see Assistagram and their website here. It is not just about vanity. It's really about how do you drive that brand awareness and leads and sales. And so Zach talks about having like an actual funnel, having it set up properly, but he's all about giving. You know what I mean? And that's what he's about, and that's what I respect about him. Is they've helped businesses grow their Instagram following by 30,000 or more followers per month. He's worked with companies like run by people like Russell Brunson, The Rock, and even helped the official Dubai account and so many more. Check out Assistagram.com. Zach, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
There's so much to do. And I really, when I think of people like Chris Ategeka, I think of you in a bit because it's not there's been this like smooth ride to the top, right? It never is for an entrepreneur and their journey. So we're going to talk about your journey a little bit. And I'm sure there's many videos you can watch as Zach breakdancing because that's what he did full time actually. But I wanted to start with, Dubai actually, because I think really what that embodies your philosophy on life and business. Do you want to talk about how that came to be and what I've been talking about?
Yeah. So how I got the country of Dubai to basically, sign me and my company and have us like run their whole entire campaign was all through cold email outreach, right? So I just saw an opportunity. I saw an ad. I saw them say, "Hey, we're trying to get over 20 million tourist visits through Instagram by 2020." And I just emailed them, Jeremy, and I was like, "Hey, like we can help you do this. Like, let's hop on a call." And, I told him, of course, like some other stuff about me and clients we've worked with. But I was like, I think the thing that attracted them was that I was willing to do that for free, right? To build the relationship, to get a country like Dubai under my belt was life-changing because as I helped them for free, me and my team, and we reached out to influencers and A-listers and basically said, "Hey, come over to Dubai, create content, share about your experience. We'll pay you for it." Like, it was super powerful. It was a super powerful thing for me to leverage because I could basically say that I'm partnered with Dubai, like the country. And all of these A-listers from all of these countries in the world became my friends. And that's how we grew the network. And then in return, so for free stays and the whole works in Dubai, these influencers, A-listers did me favors, right? They grew my clients. They shouted out and promoted other companies that I wanted to work with. And so it was a great leverage point. And that's how I built up the 220 million network.
What was why Dubai? Why did you choose that? Because there's a lot of accounts on there that probably have a lot of influence and big followers and cachet to their name.
You know, Dubai is huge. They have a big budget. They have a lot of money. But I mean, I just thought it was like a cool place. Like, I love the city. I love like all of the fun things that they offer, like skydiving and all these like fun, really cool, like 7-star hotels. So I'm like, this would be like the perfect destination that everybody like would want to go. And so it kind of made our job a little bit easier because we were working with the big budget, and we could basically say like, hey, we're partnered with the country to Dubai tourism board. Would you like to come on a free, like, all expenses paid trip?
Who's going to say no to that?
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was really, really, really cool. So we chose Dubai for those reasons. Because I think it's one of those places like in the world where everybody wants to go, but they just don't go because it can be quite expensive. But when you have everything paid for, I mean, why not?
So cold email. Cold email is key. What did you include in what was that cold email? What did it look like?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think it was in the subject line, I put idea. And so I like to use the subject line idea a lot. And, in the first line, the sentence, I make them feel like I understand their mission, their goal, like what they're trying to accomplish. I make them feel like I've done my homework and I've done my research. So I listed out the different bullet points of what I liked and how I could help. And basically just my call to action was like, hey, we'd be willing to do this for free for a year. And then after that, if you like the results, like, let's discuss something more. So I think that's really what piqued their interest, because I think a lot of people, they want to try to taste the Kool-Aid. They want to use a service, but it's a lot of people don't like pull the trigger, I think, because they're scared. They're scared of the unknown. They're scared of like being burnt, or scared of like wasting money on something that might not work and get them ROI. But when you come across and say, hey, I'm willing to, I believe in your mission. I want to be a part of it. I like what you guys are doing. Like, let's work together and create a win-win, and we'll do the work for free. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that, there is you put a time period on there so that if they like it, it's not like this is free forever. But if you like the results, then, we can work together further. And a year is a long time, to do something that's very generous. How do you address what's the catch, or is that even in their mind at that point? It's like, well, what? Yeah.
Yeah. No catch, really. I mean, no strings attached. I think when you can help somebody, just help them and give freely and try to just provide value and do what you can because you can. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm not saying there is a catch. I'm just saying, like, are they thinking, oh, well, after a year, then we'll have to pay them, so that's the catch? Or do you get any pushback with that email being like, well, what's the catch here? A year's a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, we had several calls, so I think they were just like really, like, I really piqued their interest because they're like, okay, well, let's see what he can do in a year, and I think they were just willing to like give me a shot. So it was a lot of like luck too, I would say, but I think when you're willing to give your time and give your energy, and you can communicate to that person that you want to work with, that you really want to work with them and you want to gain experience and you want to help them. It's really cool. It's refreshing to see. And that's how I've gotten a lot of these big names as clients. Is I've hustled my way in. I've put to get my foot in the door. I've proved myself. I showed them some amazing results. Maybe for a little bit less. I didn't.
It wasn't a year anymore.
Maybe like a month or two. And you know, that 5x, 10x my business.
Yeah, I love that. You know, it's really give first. And by a friend, colleague, mentor, Brian Kurtz says, you know, 100-0, like just give first. Don't even expect anything in return and just try and give and help people. What, you know, are there any particular people that you've studied or you look at to for copywriting and cold emailing? Because it seems that you've included a lot of those like really essential elements to, and you've got to some really important and busy people.
You know, to be honest, like before all this stuff, like this marketing stuff, I was a break dancer and I taught dance all around the world, 50 countries, was on So You Think You Can Dance, a TV show for a little bit, and just taught dance all over the world. But how I was able to do that was not because I won the TV show. It was because I put myself out there and I wasn't afraid of rejection. And so I learned quick and fast early on that, okay, a lot of people are afraid to look bad, afraid of making mistakes, afraid to put their services and themselves out there, whether it's like you're listening to music and freestyling and dancing on stage, or it's like you're trying to cold call or cold email someone. I think a lot of us are afraid of like what that person might say. And so I learned that it was a numbers game, and through trial and error and making a lot of mistakes when I was trying to reach out to dance studios, like I kind of figured out a way to, you know, pique interest and seal deals through email. So I have not really read any resources. I think I should. I could probably. I think I could probably get better for sure, but
No, I love
haven't.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who are some of the interesting people you were able to connect with because of the Dubai, what you were doing with Dubai?
Yeah, so from that, I connected to some really like big influencers in LA, like the Fat Jewish, and he's like a comedian guy. Like
Is he actually Jewish and fat or what?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
go to the Fat Jewish. It's just post really weird, crazy stuff. I was able to get connected to the McCords, like who are big influencers in Hollywood. People who've launched movies like 200 movie campaigns, like Rick Shermer, The Hobbit, Chronicles of Narnia, like Toy Story, all of those things. So it really like just like blew up my network, and yeah.
Let's talk about. I know we have a lot of stories to talk about. We'll talk about you know, how Russell Brunson and what were some of the things you did with him and his company. But I figured we just take a look at Instagram for a second. And like I think I told you off camera, Zach,
Yeah.
I am a total Instagram newbie. Like I just go into Nature's Metal and then I binge watch it and then I get out. That's what I do. Okay.
I love it. I love it.
So if anyone hasn't checked out that channel, that's like, I don't know, maybe it's too graphic for people, Zach, but
Yeah.
so I search motivation. I don't know if there's any in particular. So you'll just kind of riff off of whatever you see and talk about some of the, you know, I know you talk about big mistakes people make on Instagram. You talk about, you know, different growth hacks and other things. So I don't know if there's any particular account here on motivation wise.
So, I mean, if you just type in the word, so we have motivation up, right? You can see third thing down says 233 million posts on motivation. So if you go up, scroll up top and click on motivation, the third one
right
down.
here.
Yeah.
I got it.
Like, you know, it has 233 million posts on it. So what I'm saying, guys, is like if you're using that hashtag that's super basic, generic, that has hundreds of millions of posts on it, the likelihood of you actually showing up for that hashtag is like zero, because so many people are using it every several times, you know, hundreds, thousands and thousands of times a day, right? It's like you won't ever be seen. So what I recommend is that when you're doing hashtag research, because hashtag research is a very important thing that you need to learn how to do the right way, that'll help you get your content seen and grow your account. You want to type in a basic hashtag like motivation. Like let's say that you're an entrepreneur, you're a coach, you're an author. So you're going to find hashtags that are related to
like right
motivation.
here.
Yeah, you see that? and go ahead and click on like maybe like motivational quote or like self-motivation, like one of those. And you're going to kind of narrow down. So we went from 233 million posts to now this one only has 2.6 million posts, right?
Yeah.
And then you can narrow down even more and find like let's say like motivation is key. Click on that one. Now this one has like 500,000. And so you're going to keep narrowing down your hashtags until you find hashtags that have between like 25 to 50,000 posts on them, 50 to 100,000 posts, 100 to 200,000, 200 to 500,000 hashtags. And you're going to write them down. You're going to create multiple sets, and you're going to use these hashtags when you post content. And the hashtags are what gets your content seen. So if you don't use hashtags, the only way to be seen is if you pay Instagram money and boost and promote your post. So,
got it. So hashtag research is absolutely key. And it's like the, SEO for Instagram, like someone trying to rank for a really broad keyword, it's going to be really hard to do.
Right. So you got to niche down, narrow down, find smaller ones. I would say create per hashtag set, like create about 25 to 30 hashtags, create multiple sets of hashtags, and use maybe 2 to 3 hashtags in your caption. And after you post, copy and paste the rest of them into the first comment. And start to see like which ones perform the best throughout the month, which ones give you more engagement, likes, views, impressions, followers, and start using them now.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Are there any other, like, who's a good maybe account to look at to break down maybe what they're doing well, maybe what they need to improve on?
Sure. So we're talking about motivation. We could talk about like Gary Vee or Russell Brunson or one of those big guys showing.
So is his account ClickFunnels or is it Russell Brunson?
Russell Brunson. So yeah, 2 L's, Brunson, Brun. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well he's on private right now. I think they're doing a promotion. Let's choose Gary Vee. Okay. Russell's the client of ours. Let's do Gary Vee. So, okay, his account is open. So let's first like look at his bio. Okay, so I think a lot of people like when you're crafting your bio and writing your bio, you actually want to write it in the notepad, right? So you want to basically write it out off the Instagram app so that you can use emojis. You can line everything up so it's looks like really nice. And then Instagram also lets you put in one link. Okay. So on Gary Vee, like his profile, like there's a couple of call to actions, right? It's like text me, and then you're going to get into his, text funnels and text follow-ups and sequences. And then he also, it looks like he has a new article with entrepreneur.com. So he's like,
are you surprised, Zach, that he's linking an article here as opposed to all the other content he has out there? Does that surprise you or no?
I think there's a specific reason. So I mean, if we go there, we could check it out. But I think he has a lot of content. He's like everywhere. He's on Twitter. He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram.
Right.
He has a lot of good content. So as you scroll down, you can see his highlights. Okay, so if you even scroll up a little bit more, you can see like how he has his podcasts, right? His stuff about wine, music. Just scroll down. So what Gary Vee does is his headliners, his text is really good. Like it gets people.
Some dude bought 8,000 horses before something. Yeah.
He's good at getting people to click, right? So you always have to think about like, how can I choose a thumbnail on my video? How can I use like the right text? on the video to get people to click, because when people go to your page, you have like literally just a seconds before they either choose to click on something or choose to leave, and you want to keep them staying on your page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he's
that
using,
Flintstone one sticks out big time. You know,
he's
if you look at
using
it.
like cartoons and making it fun, and he's I think a lot of these influencers right now are using more cartoons,
Uh-huh.
and those are working pretty well. So
he's doing a good job overall.
and the thing is that you guys can use this too. So if you see other cartoons, like even from Gary Vee, for example, or other motivational pages, you can use like a second very strategy called Repo Strategy.
Mhm.
So you could repost it onto your page, give Gary Vee or whatever account credit, and then write something and say like what it means to you, and tie it into your personal life and business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
is there anything you think he can improve on here?
I don't know. I mean, he's pretty big now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Let's take a
his
random one, Zach.
profile
Like,
picture.
who's another one maybe that you consider, just prolific or big in whatever the marketing entrepreneur space, but you maybe have never seen their Instagram account? Gary Vee's probably, he's obviously, one of the top experts in, social media in general. But who should we look up just to see what their account looks like?
Any names pop in
I'm
your
just
head?
Let's see.
You've interviewed a lot of people.
Let's see. Who I've interviewed maybe. Well, I'll take a quick look actually on Inspired Insider to see who it is.
Yeah, there's so many things. I think though that Gary Vee does a pretty good job on his account.
Let's see here. Let's look up Kim Walsh Phillips. I love Kim's stuff. Do you know Kim Walsh Phillips?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I love her stuff. She's always doing some amazing stuff on social media too. So let's take a look at her account. So Kim, if you're listening, hopefully this will help you out a little bit. So let's look at Kim's stuff.
So yeah, I mean, pretty. So for the bio, like because her username is Kim Walsh Phillips.
Yeah.
A trick that we do for a lot of our clients' accounts is, instead of putting the name twice, Kim Walsh Phillips. That second one, see where you're pointing at, like in the bold letters, like you can actually put.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean right here. Yes.
Above
like right
Digital
there.
Marketing Ninja. Yeah.
Yep.
You can actually put like 3 different keywords that you want to show up for and rank for. So when people are searching, like, she could put Digital Marketing Ninja right in place of
to replace her name.
Or like, let's say that you're a author or podcast host. You could put other keywords in that name section that you want to show up for. And this is like a really cool SEO trick.
All right, Kim, if you're listening, change it.
Yeah.
What else?
Just simple things like, I think, like, you saw on Gary Vee's profile, he did a down arrow, right?
Yes.
So I think you always want to be directing people to stuff and make sure that, like, think of ways that you can cut down
arrow into the URL.
Yeah, down arrow to the URL. Maybe like add 1K email subscribers. So then her spacing could be better with that fire symbol. Maybe like putting 2 other emojis in front of like fueled and maybe creating another line there so that it's just consistent with 3 emojis. Maybe using a profile picture that's a little bit closer, like more of like a headshot, like that's
so zoomed in more.
Yeah. And then if we scroll down, maybe click on a couple of her posts.
Like this one, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, definitely like use hashtags. Like
So she doesn't have hashtags here.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you click on the comments, click on that plus button. Yeah, and scroll up. Yeah, start using some hashtags.
So I have the post, but then in the comments, put a bunch of hashtags, like you were
Yeah.
saying before.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's like low hanging fruit for her.
Yeah. So these are just a couple
Because
of
they'll help her get ranked better on different things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kim, put some hashtags here.
Yeah.
What else? So should I go back to the homepage?
Yeah, exit out of that.
Okay.
I don't know. She has very like, yeah. I would just like switch it up with like
different types of pictures.
Yeah, different types of pictures, videos, like put like kind of that text on the video, like you saw Gary Vee do, like so they know like, okay, well, a lot of these videos like they have the same thumbnail, so what is the difference? So people want to at a first glance be able to tell like what
is it? Yeah, he had a lot of text on all the thumbnails.
Yeah, but I like how she's always smiling in a lot of pictures. Like she's got a lot of positivity, positive energy, vibes. Yeah. So it makes the page fun. But I'd like to see more text on the videos and see her with different influencers and people. That'd be fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Russell Brunson.
Yeah.
How'd you connect with him and his company, and what did you do for them?
So Russell Brunson. So I actually spoke at this event called Traffic Mastery Live. Ed O'Keefe. Shout out to
I love Ed O'Keefe. Oh my God.
That's awesome.
That's the best.
And
was it in Chicago, Zach?
This was in Nashville. This was in
it was his Nashville traffic event.
Totally. Yeah. So I think
Ed is amazing. If anyone has not heard of him or doesn't know him, have you eaten his waffles yet? Wake Up Waffles.
Yeah.
Wake Up Foods.
Wake Up Foods. He's got those new waffles. I think they just came out with the chocolate flavor. So I'm excited to try. Really good stuff. Smart guy, and basically spoke at.
This is one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. He has 7 kids. Just to give anyone who does not know Ed, he runs just big companies, and he is about family. So anyways, keep going. Yeah, I love it. So you spoke at his Traffic Mastery. It was I've heard so many good things about that event specifically.
That's where I met Tony G, Ship Offers. That's where I met ClickFunnels, right? John Parks, VP of Web Traffic, was in the audience, and during break, right after my talk, he was like, "Hey, like we gotta talk. Like let's do some stuff. Like let's do some stuff for my account, the ClickFunnels account, and Russell's account." And boom, we proved ourselves with the ClickFunnels account and John's account as a tester, and from there, then we got Russell Brunson's account, and we've grown it several hundred, or like probably 400,000 followers.
Yeah, I think it was over 700,000.
Yeah, and
when we looked at it,
we've been working with them for about 2 years now. So over 2 years now. So definitely, that event also changed my life.
Why?
Because I got to meet Tony G and ClickFunnels. So shout out to Ed.
Yeah. So how has Tony G influenced you? Because I know I was talking to him yesterday, and he's like, just telling me about his day, and he's like, I'm gonna be talking to Zach in a little bit, and I'm like, well, funny enough, I'm gonna be talking to Zach tomorrow. So what has Tony G taught you?
Tony G, I mean, he's more just like a friend, mentor, and just like a good dude who brings a lot of great people together at his dinners, and that he throws during different events like traffic and conversion. So that's how I met him, really, was through that at O'Keefe's event, and then we had a couple of dinners in San Diego and met his friends, and we've had a few phone calls. I was on his podcast. So I guess it's just like, the cool thing about Tony is that he tells people like what they need to hear and what they need to hear to grow and go the next level. Yeah. And it's cool to talk to somebody who has built up a company like Ship Offers now to where it's at today, and just to learn from another like super successful entrepreneur on how to just organize your life be disciplined. I got into like the meditation and 75 harder from him, and just like cleaning up all my processes and my systems for Assistagram. He's helping me do all of that.
So what did he tell you specifically that you needed to hear? Because he just kind of cuts straight through it, and he's told me things too. Jeremy, you need to get more sleep. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, you're right.
No, the thing that he told me that I needed here was that I need to make my sales processes better. Okay.
Interesting.
I would say I'm pretty good, but like I'm never satisfied. Like I feel like there's always room to improve and to grow and to learn from somebody, to bring more clarity to the whole process. And that's really like what he's helping me with, right? Because we've built up a brand now where we're working with some pretty big brands like the Ritz-Carlton, ClickFunnels, all these celebrities and stuff. But still, it's cool to know that, like, okay, I need to improve this or that, or like make this a little bit smoother to give people a better, a sales presentation experience.
That makes sense. So what have you done, or what are you thinking you're going to improve with the sales process?
Oh man, we're working on it right now, but I think it's just like the whole like the deck, like making it super simple and easy to read, making it right now it's like way too long, right? So just simplifying it, removing a bunch of slides, and the key thing that I learned from our talk was that I really have two companies. I have Assistagram.com, and then I have Assisterbrand.com, right? Which basically we help elevate people's brand presence by getting them seen, known, and heard all over the place through getting them on top-rated podcasts.
So it's almost like a next level PR type of thing.
Right. Because I think a lot of people they want to be on stages, speak on virtual summits, be on podcasts. They want to be in Forbes and all these online publications, magazines. They want to get their story out there about themselves.
So one is growing their actual account. The other is doing PR and getting them on other big accounts. Is that accurate?
Right. Basically just getting them seen and known everywhere, right? Like podcasts that have millions of listeners to getting them, live streams on other Instagram influencers accounts that have millions of listeners and followers. It could be, it's all of that.
Zach, I was doing research about you and digging in, and you said something really interesting. And you said sometimes you'll recommend people buy Instagram accounts.
Yeah, I recommend people buy the Instagram accounts because you then have an account that you can use to grow your other account that you're trying to focus on.
Okay.
And you can also use that account that you buy and switch it, delete the content and rename it to your own, which then gives you a bunch of followers that you can use for other projects of yours, because it's really hard to grow. So in 2020, it's a lot harder to grow Instagram accounts. So a growth hack would be buying the accounts, buying assets, just like you buy houses and other, like you can buy websites and domain names and people's blogs, right? You just buy a traffic source.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Buy their audience. Yeah, and then from there, you grow it, you leverage it, and you promote it and build it.
So what are the criteria you look at and then how do you approach them because probably most people aren't approaching them, hey, let me buy your Instagram account. What's the criteria you look at?
Criteria. So step number one, I look at the name. Okay. It's got to have a good username because your name is your most important asset. Step two, I look at the following, right? I only want to buy accounts that personally have like over 50,000 followers minimum on the account. Three, I look at like the engagement on the post. Is this a dead account? Like, has this been an inactive account for a year? When was the last? When was the last post? What was the most recent activity? I'm taking all of those things into consideration. The audience, where are the followers from? What cities? What countries? How many impressions? How many profile clicks? How many website visits? So I do buy we buy like inactive accounts because we know how to revive them and
Yeah.
boost them up again and get them alive and thriving. But then we also buy accounts that are millions of followers. So I do that because it's just like a business, right? Some people have been in the game for a while. They maybe have seen some cool things happen, see some success, but now they're like, hey, I want to move on. What's next? And
Mm-hmm. So if you're always looking for the next one, if someone has an account, like let's say the perfect account, and they're
yeah,
listening right now, and like Zach, call me.
yeah.
I would love to sell it to you. What would that ideal account right now look like? What are you looking for?
For me, like right now, like I'm like big in the travel space, so I'm buying a bunch of travel accounts. So I already have over 40 travel accounts
Yeah.
myself, ranging from 1 million followers, 5 million followers to like, 50,000 followers. So for me, I'm just trying to take over the hotel industry. So we have at best hotels, we have at luxury hotels. So I'm really buying these travel accounts because travel is my life, and I
Yeah.
have my own travel academy where I teach other people, digital nomads, photographers, videographers that want to travel for free. They want to work from anywhere, and so I'm buying all of these accounts because then these people that are in my academy, they can buy them from me, and then they can
Yeah.
start doing
You
what I
give them a
do.
jump start. You give them a head start, so to
Yeah,
speak.
because they buy a page, so that's their asset that they can use to post their photography and pictures,
Yeah.
and then
That's an
they
awesome bonus. Like buy my course, we'll give you an account that's already like 20,000 whatever.
yeah, and on
Yeah.
top of that, they get to be a part of my 12 million travel network.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of benefits to joining the club, and then we
What's
help
it
you.
called? Where can people find it?
Yeah, well, so the actual course name is called Tribe Influencer, Tribe
Okay.
Influencer Academy. But if you want in, it's not actually live right now, like because we're only adding like secret VIP access. So if you want in, you have to email me and hit me up through assistagram.com. But then we can make it work for you.
Are there any, like with the hotel industry now, like, obviously the rise of Airbnb, are there any good keywords people probably can't use those trademarked or those terms in their name, but are there any like that you're looking to buy that's not Airbnb, but I don't know, something that's that side of things?
Yeah, well, so like I bought luxury hotels, right? So if you go to luxuryhotels.com, it redirects to Marriott.com.
Hmm.
So I buy things that are in that are associated with other things because that elevates my brand identity, right? So when I can say I'm the founder of at luxury hotels, and then people go to luxuryhotels.com and it goes to Marriott, they're like, whoa. And then I can show them that I've done videos for Ritz Carlton and a lot of the
Yeah,
Ritz
you have some
Carlton.
amazing videos. I mean, if someone's watched some of your videos, I mean, what are some of just to give an example, what are some of the places you've traveled and made videos for?
Yeah, like Koh Samui, Thailand, Ritz Carlton, Bali, Indonesia, Ritz Carlton. Um, I mean, all over Asia, all over Europe, all over the world, really.
Yeah.
Like, Maldives is one of my favorite places. So I've,
Yeah.
yeah, gotten like 20 nights in the Maldives. I got one hotel that gifted me 125 nights in Bali
Wow.
for free. So I used 50 nights for myself straight,
Nice.
and then I gave the other 75 nights away to my friends, my clients, and my business partners.
Nice.
So I gave like a 10-night stay to somebody in their 10 year anniversary, and
That's amazing.
yeah, there's cool things. So that's what I like to use it for,
Yeah.
to
I like to
relationship.
live vicariously through you. I wake up in the morning, kids are screaming. Like, let's see where Zach is. Oh, cool. He's like swimming in like just clear water somewhere. I love it. How do you value it? How do you value the account? When you reach out, how do you decide on what to pay?
It's you can always kind of ask around, right? And you can say like, You email these people, you send them a direct message and say, hey, like I'm interested, I'm in the market to buy an account. I like your page. Have you ever considered selling it? And you know, sometimes they say make an offer, or sometimes I make an offer. I guess, you know, for like, let me tell you how I got into this, guys. Like, before all this dance marketing stuff, I was a dancer, right? I hurt my back. Same guy who got me into dancing called me up and was like, Zach, you need to get in on this Instagram stuff. Like, me and my brother, we're making a lot of money growing people's accounts. Like, hey, why don't you invest with us? So I spent $10,000, my own money, when I barely had any. Had to ask my dad for some money. Sent that check over to my friend in Miami, and I ended up owning 10% of a 400,000 follower account for $10,000. And whatever that account made, I was paid 10%. And so eventually I made my money back. And with that money, I used it to buy and grow other people's accounts. And so they ranged. I mean, like, I just had a friend sell his million follower account to a big company, a media company in LA for over $300,000.
Wow.
So some of these are expensive, or more expensive than houses. So it just depends on the
I
name.
mean, someone says, do you like make an offer? I would have no idea. How do you value this thing? I mean, you probably have a broad network that you can kind of tie it into, but how do you even value it?
Yeah. So, I mean, so he was able to sell that for that price, over 300,000, because it was like a couple million followers. I had a good name. You know, he had a good network. He could continue to manage and grow it. And, you know, they're basically buying into all of his contacts and stuff. Right. So, but I mean, you can find accounts that are like in the travel space, or any like niche, like motivational pages, or fitness pages. If you have an e-commerce supplement company and you sell fitness products, you could buy a fitness page that's maybe a 50,000 follower page or 100,000 follower page for like just, you know, less than like $10,000.
Yeah. You have another business on your hands, Zach, with that.
Yeah, people. Yeah, I mean, this is what we help people do. Really, is they come to us. We either sell them an account, or we grow their
Yeah.
own account.
You know, Justin Goff and Stefan and all?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So if you guys are listening to this, like some of the brands that you guys help with copywriting, you should contact Zach actually, and maybe talk about buying some fitness Instagram accounts and then selling their supplements through there potentially. Because they have a big network through the Copy Accelerator of people who are. I mean, they do more than supplements, but yeah, there are a bunch of those type of companies there.
Yeah, I
So
think it makes sense for anybody like that, like whether you're like in real estate, right, to buy like a kind of a luxury homes like repost account, or you're in the fitness space, you want to be a personal trainer, or like a coach. Like, there's so many different things that you can use these for. Whether you're trying to connect with celebrities and influencers to get them to promote your products. If you approach them and reach out to them from an account that has 100,000 followers on it, you're likely going to get a reply. Versus if you try to reach out from your personal account and maybe only has 100 followers, you're not going to get answered, right? So I see it as just like also a numbers game, right? Like, you can get more jobs and you can connect with more people because you have bigger numbers.
yeah. Zach, you're not just, so I want you to walk through how it works a little bit, because so someone's like, Zach, this sounds awesome. I want to hire you. Okay. Because you have a combination between actual humans and software. So talk a little bit about how you help people and what you do.
So Instagram, like 2015, 16, we had our own software. It's like we grew people thousands of followers per month, and it was working well. And then, you know, Instagram's algorithms changed and became smarter. And now Assistagram, think of it as like your own personal virtual assistant that's just like grinding on your account hours a day, doing hundreds to thousands of manual actions, right? So straight up human power, 100% human power now. We pair you up with other influencers that are in your industry, in your niche, and we do shout outs until you grow your followers, right? So we do everything A to Z, from creating all of your content, posting for you 7 days a week, doing the hashtags, doing the engagement groups, to grow and build your account. And so, you know, it's as simple as scheduling a strategy call, going over the options, and then assigning you your own growth manager to give you a hands-off experience.
And then there's different levels of service based on what they need.
Right. So we have basic like starter packages that just give you growth, right? So let's say that you only want 10,000 followers so that you can unlock the swipe up feature. So when you have 10,000 followers, you unlock the secret thing where you can do story swipe ups. And basically in your Instagram stories, you can drive people and promote something and send them to your offer. And so a lot of people come to us because they just want 10,000 followers. Like, let's say that they want something more complete, then they go with the commercial package, where it's the done for you content, posting, like getting your own growth manager to do everything for you, write everything for you, do outreach, lead gen. I mean, that's more of the whole works package.
Nice. And so what you were talking with Tony G, it's kind of two different companies. Is it still, it's all embedded in that those services, or is there a separate type of service for the kind of the PR, the reach side of things?
Yeah, so we have, those are separate services, but they all tie in together, because a lot of people, they need the right press and the right amount of followers to get verified, to get the blue check marks, the stamp of approval by Facebook and Instagram. We know what it takes to get that done. So really, like, people want both, right? They're like, when people Google my name and search about me on Instagram, I want to give off that feeling like, okay, like they think like, oh man, I'm legit. I can read his story. I can listen to his story. I can search for him on or her on Instagram. They have the blue check mark. They have a lot of followers. Okay, I want to do business with this person. This person seems like a legit cool person. And so it's really just piquing their interest. And once you get people to actually read more about you and check more into you, you have an opportunity for a sale. But I think a lot of sales like don't happen because people don't have this social media presence. And then they're like,
Who are
they
some
don't have.
people, Zach, that companies or people you want to be working with?
Yeah, so I mean, really anybody who just wants to grow their personal brand, anybody who wants to get on more.
I mean, who's an actual personal brand that you're like,
Yeah.
I would love to run their account?
Yeah, so I love like working with like podcasters, other entrepreneurs, authors, writers. Anybody that has like e-commerce business, supplement company, or like any like physical products, like those do really, really well on Instagram. And so those are really our two like client avatars, right? Just I mean, it's not,
Authors are too, or no?
yeah,
Not so
authors
much.
as well, because they want to sell more books, right? They want to become bestsellers. So we can achieve that and get that done for them by getting them on top rated podcasts, podcasts that have a lot of listeners, and selling things through Instagram. So when you have bigger numbers, right? Like even if you're looking to write a book, you can get a better publisher because you have a bigger following and audience. They're looking at all of those things like, okay, will this person actually give my company exposure if we sign him? What will the benefits be for us? So if you have a big audience and a community and a big Instagram page, you're going to get better deals.
I want to talk about some of your favorite authors, but let's talk about your book, Reach.
Yes, Reach.
So whenever you're listening to this, you can probably go on Amazon, go on Audible, talk about Reach for a second. I love the title.
So Reach is my new book that I'm working on. And it's how to like connect with anyone, grow your influence, and basically create a lifestyle business. So I'm teaching people like all of my secrets on how to like network with people, how to reach out, do this cold email, do this cold calling stuff, how to find creative ways to stay in touch with the people that you meet. And just the book is really about just how I've done that with both of my businesses, right? The dance business, to traveling to 50 countries, making $1,000 an hour just teaching dance, to creating this Assistagram company, right? So basically teaching people how to do all of the stuff that I did to grow my business.
So check out Reach whenever you're listening. It may already be out. What's a creative way? Give me one way that pops in your mind of one way you use to stay in touch with someone.
You know, I'm pretty like I'm old school when it comes to that. Like my other buddy Charles Bird, he's got a really cool tool that he uses and to stay in touch with people. But you know, what I do is like I try to like take everybody's Instagram profiles, right? So I connect with them on Instagram, and then I also get their business card if they have them. And if they don't, then I connect with them on social media, and I add them on Facebook, and I also add them on Instagram. And you know, for the first like 2 weeks, what I do is I I engage with their content, right? And I I find content that I resonate with and I like. I leave a genuine comment. I express a genuine interest, and then I say, "Hey, you know, it's really good meeting you at this spot. You know, I learned this. I think that we could do this. It'd be cool to hop on like a 15-minute networking call next week." And you know, so that's the way that I do it.
Connect offline, essentially.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite authors? Books lately?
You know, well, lately,
I'll say some of mine. So Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. Amazing. One of my favorite books, definitely. And had him on the podcast. Oren Klaff, Flip the Script. Love the book. Also had him on. I love Shoe Dog, the founder of Nike. Like talk about. I felt like it was like entrepreneurial therapy, Zach. Like you think, oh, Nike, right? And you just see just the twists and turns and ups and downs.
No, I like those. I guess like a few of my friends just launched some books, like Michael Burnoff, Average Sucks. I got that book.
Nice.
I got this other book called the Purse String Effects by Wendy. It's like how to like sell and sell to women.
Nice.
And so those are two books that I got recently.
That's great.
But yeah, so I check out those. But like my all-time favorites, like old school books.
Yeah.
My favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
Is this one called The Traveler's Gift.
Wow.
By Andy Andrews. And he kind of goes back in time to like all these like legends like King Solomon and Abraham Lincoln and just all these cool like people and ask them questions and
I love it.
Yeah.
I've not listened to or read that one, so I'll have to check it out. Thanks for that.
Check it out.
I love it. Zach, we talk about journey, and the journey is ups and downs, right? And some interesting things from your journey, just talk about how for the letter R influenced you.
Yeah, so I couldn't say the letter R until I was like in my 20s. So I had this speech impediment, and I remember going to these speech therapy classes in elementary school that I hated going to. And I remember one day, like I said, enough is enough. I'm going to quit. And remember my speech therapist at the time saying, "Hey, Zach, if you quit, like you'll never be able to say the letter R. No one will be able to understand you, and you probably won't amount to much." And I was like in elementary school when I heard this.
They actually said that you wouldn't be amount to much if you don't say the letter R. Like that's what they said to you.
She's like, no one will be able to, understand you, and you won't be able to talk to people. And so you're, limiting your potential, right? Like you need to like stay with me, keep paying for my classes, and let's fix this problem. But I was just a kid. I wanted to play. I was like, nah, it's good enough. And, that's the kind of like, I just get the job done, right? I'm a fast action taker. I see something I want to do and I do it. And so it really hurt me though. I wasn't able to I didn't have a lot of friends in school. Kids made fun of me. I hated doing public speeches and talks. I got made fun of a lot. And so, yeah, it caused a lot of problems. I got really bad grades. My parents thought I was gonna end up in jail because I was getting in trouble and fights so much. And so life wasn't looking too good for me until I found dance. And dance kind of changed my life. It became something, it's like my fire, something I was actually good at and passionate about. And I was able to express myself through my moves and through
one of your friends gave you a tape. What happened with that?
Yeah, so my buddy, he was just like, dude, you're Asian. He's like, you need it, like, you're the Asian sensation. Like, you gotta learn how to do this breakdancing stuff. Like all Asians gotta be good at dancing, Like that time it was just me and then this 2 other upperclassmen who were like really good at breakdancing. And so I was like, you're right. I'm gonna live up to my Asianness and watch it and do this. And
that's funny.
Watched that DVD, that video, and started practicing and working and meeting others that did it. Made a crew, started traveling with it, competing, and eventually I was winning competitions. Eventually I made it onto So You Think You Can Dance, the TV show. Auditioned 3 times, didn't make it all the way, but was on a couple episodes and just used that to take my dance career around the world. And eventually through all of that, I became more confident. I stopped trying so hard, and I just started putting myself out there and speaking to people and talking to people. And then I soon realized from this leadership academy that I went to one summer in college that this girl was like, you don't have a speech impediment. You don't have anything wrong about you. Like, you're normal. Just talk normal, and people need to hear your ideas and your opinions because your voice matters, and it needs to be heard by the world. And from there, I just found my voice.
Yeah, you gave a TEDx talk. I encourage people to watch and listen to that. I think that was a couple years ago that you did that. And it's amazing, from probably at the time being self-conscious, talking in general, to now you speak on stages all over the world.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But
I mean, one of the things that strikes me, Zach, about you is, I don't know if it was always like that, but now, you're not afraid to put yourself out there. You're not afraid to fail or to, make mistakes.
Right. Because I don't know. I'm not afraid to just like reach out to somebody and make an offer to text them or message them and make a pitch and see what happens. I mean, the worst thing that happens is rejection, and maybe it's not the right timing. But I think I just got over like all of that because I'm also fluent in a couple languages. Like I was adopted. I was born in Korea, and then I grew up in Iowa. Didn't have my like first Korean food until I went to Korea to find my birth mom. And then I learned the language. I was like, okay, in order for me to build a genuine relationship with her, I need to learn the language. So I studied, took classes.
You just learned it on your own.
Yeah, took some classes, made some friends, taught myself, and then also like I'm fluent in Spanish. So I lived in Spain and Mexico for like 2 years, and became fluent in Spanish. So I just learned from like learning languages. Like, hey, like when you first start, your accent is not the best. Like, but if people really want to listen to you and try to understand you, and if you put in effort and you try, like you can get the message across. Like, yeah. And I think a lot of people are afraid to speak or talk or make mistakes because they think that they'll look funny, they'll look bad, and people won't get them or understand them or call them stupid. But when you're learning a language, it's like you kind of have to put yourself out there to master it. Yeah. Like, you're not going to be good when you first start talking it, but the only way to get good at it is to practice and to learn from others so that you can say it correctly.
Yeah. Zach, the other thing that strikes me with your journey is, breakdancing was your life at the time. Yes. And then you get injured.
Yeah.
And you can't breakdance anymore.
Right.
So what were you going through mentally, internally at the time?
Hold on a second. 1 sec. I need to plug in. Sorry. We're changing. So guys, I'm in my parents' basement right now. I'm in Iowa. And it's good to be home. But yeah, there's like I don't have all my techie equipment and stuff right now. Right. So
It's no Maldives, but it's probably amazing to be back with your family.
family matters most, is everything to me. But when I was and they've always supported me, right? So back to your question, even when I hurt my back and I injured myself, and the doctor came in and was like, Zach, I don't think you're ever gonna be able to dance again. Like, to hear those words, like, I hit rock bottom. I cried. I was like, what am I going to do? Because I remember the advice that my financial advisor told me when I was like 20 years old. And he's like, Zach, well, what happens if you can't use your hands anymore? What happens if you can't use your feet? You can't dance. What are you going to do? Like, I was like, man, I'm in good shape.
Yeah. You're
I'm rock
invincible at the
I'm
time.
rock solid. Like, nothing's ever gonna happen. And when that was taken away from me, I became very depressed, and my life was gone pretty much. Like, my dance life was gone. And yeah, it was kind of a dark, sad times. But then my family supported me. They cheered me up. They encouraged me. Like I said, the guy who got me into dancing got me into Instagram, and so I could still use like my skills and my strengths to help other people get out there to the world. And that's what I learned when all of my years dancing and teaching workshops, is that there's so much talent out there. There's so many amazing people with amazing ideas, with amazing skills, like even way better dancers than me. And I was like, well, why can't they like go out and do it? And I like, a lot of them, it was hard because they didn't know about business. Like, they didn't know about marketing themselves. They didn't know about PR, scaling and growing and selling. And so I was like, okay, well, perfect. Now I can use Instagram to help other people launch their stuff and sell their stuff and get their products and services out to the world. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I don't think I would have ever got into Instagram if that accident didn't happen.
Totally.
Yeah.
I know we're right about the hour, and I don't want to gloss over one big piece of, the story in your life in general. You set out on a year's journey to go find your birth mom.
Right.
From from Korea, grew up in Iowa, and then you finally, I won't, give away the story, but what happened?
Yeah, so it's always been something I wanted to do, and I was like, I just want to like see like what she looks like, and see like what we have in common and what her personalities and like. And so basically, I made a 5-year plan, and during college, I did an internship with my college president. Year one, I lived on $2 a day for food. I performed 1,000 hours of community service. I helped refugees find jobs and homes for a year with this resettlement agency called World Relief. So that was year one. Year two, I was like, I want to go find my birth mom. So I moved to Korea. I moved to the city I was born in. It's called Busan, which is like the second largest city in Korea, kind of down by the water in South Korea. I taught English. So somehow, like, I passed like my to be an English teacher, right? Like, I don't know how I passed. Like,
That's what you did there when you were there. You taught English.
Yeah. And I almost didn't even pass like the training. Like, I was very close, but somehow my friends helped me pass the test and the exams. And then I taught English at a private academy from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day. And then during the day, I was studying Korean. I was practicing breakdance, and then trying to find my mom. And for almost a year, nothing, no word, nothing. And I was
were you to just keep going? Like, if it took 2 years, what were you thinking at the time? Like, I'm going to give it a year, or I'm just going to keep going until I find her?
Well, I wanted to, because I don't like to give up. I always just keep trying and trying. But for like my parents, like, they were like, think you should come home. Like, it's time to use your college major. Like, we've invested a lot of money, and it's cool that you're giving back to humanity and trying to find your mom. But I think if you can't find her after this year, you should probably come home. But it was just that, like, after we had that talk and about when my teaching contract was up, like, I got an email and they said, Zach, we found your mom. Like, when can you come to Seoul, the capital? When can you come to meet her? And I'm like, I'm going to come tomorrow. And hopped on a bullet train, a speed train, got there, walked into the door. I was like, what am I supposed to say? Like, aren't you guys going to prepare me or anything? Like, they just opened the door and like, just go in. And then my mom came, she was standing there, ran up to me, gave me a hug, was like, I love you, son. I love you. Like, so I'm so glad that you came back. And, yeah, man, it's just
Must
cool
have been
to
emotional.
hug my mom for the first time, to see her, and a little bit weird as well because we had translators. I still wasn't fluent in Korean, and so we had translators like going back and forth, and even though we couldn't understand each other very well by ourselves, like after that day that we met, she'd come over to my flat. I met her son and daughter. They'd cook me Korean food. She'd like clean. She took care of me. So I felt like her love through her actions and just being there, showing up.
I can't even imagine that, Zach.
Yeah.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah. So it was a very special time in my life. We're still in touch now. So after this month in Iowa with my Iowa family, I'm headed back to Korea. So I'll be spending the rest of the year out there. Yeah.
Wow. Zach, first of all, I want to be the first one to thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your story. It's, really motivating on so many levels. And I want to just encourage people to check out assistagram.com. Check out your website. Here it is right here. Check it out. And anywhere else we should point people towards, check out your book Reach. Also, anywhere else we should point people towards, or any final words?
I think that's it. I mean, you guys, like, I'm happy to connect with all of you. Feel free to reach out, hit us up at assistagram.com, or just, find me on Facebook, Zach Benson. Would love to connect. Would love to hear your story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zach. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Jeremy.